He said, let me break this down for you a different way. He said, I want you to imagine prison as a pot of boiling water. He said, now anything we put into a pot of boiling water will be changed by the heat and the pressure inside that pot. He said, I'm going to put 3 things in this pot of boiling water and watch how they change. A carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean. Here's where I first hear the story of the coffee bean, y'all. The summer of 2009 in a jail cell in Dallas County Jail, 10 years before John Gordon and I write that best-selling book in 2019 called The Coffee Bean. So he said, first things first, West, if I put a carrot in a pot of boiling water, and he said, what happens to the carrot? Yeah, I'm like, the carrot's going to turn soft, Muhammad. He said, that's right, West. He said, but that carrot goes in the water really hard and firm, but the water of the prison turns the hard carrot soft, mushy, weak. He said, you don't want to be a carrot. He said, what about the egg? What happens to the egg in the pot of boiling water? I'm like, the egg is going to turn hard, Muhammad, like a hard-boiled egg. He said, that's right, West. He said, the egg is a shell that can protect it physically on the outside. But inside that shell, that soft liquid core, that yolk, that heart becomes hardened. He said, now, if your heart becomes hardened, you become incapable of giving or receiving love. He said, if you're incapable of giving or receiving love in the world you're going into, you don't come back as someone your parents recognize. You've become institutionalized, and your eggshell will have swastikas all over it. Then he asked me the question. He said, what about the coffee bean, Wes? He said, what happened to the coffee bean and the pot of boiling water? And y'all, I didn't have an answer from Muhammad on that one. I didn't know what happened to a coffee bean in a pot of boiling water. He said, if I put a coffee bean in that same pot of boiling water we call prison, he said, now you have to change the name of that water to coffee. Because he said, the coffee bean, West, the smallest of the 3 things, small like you, had the power to change the entire atmosphere inside that pot because the power was inside the coffee bean. He said, just like the power's inside of you. He said, everything else in life is changed by the water in life. Carrots are changed by the water. Eggs are changed by the water, but not a coffee bean. He said, the coffee bean is the only thing that changes the water because it's the change agent. If you want to come back as someone your parents recognize, you got to be like that coffee bean too. In fact, the last words he ever says to me, y'all, it's the summer of 2009. The prison bus is getting ready to come pick me up to serve that life sentence in prison. He has 4 words for me on the way out the door that day. He said, hey, West, be a coffee bean.